Alright, this is going to be a much quicker look than with Dizzy because, admittedly, I don't know as much about Venom compared to Dizzy. To be completely blunt, the most I've played Venom was like a couple days ago when I was looking forward to this, so therefore I decided I should try out Venom, like at all, just to see how he plays. So I just like casually booted up Xrd Rev 2, did an arcade run, had a pretty good time, sort of understood his mechanics more or less. So yeah, it was very interesting trying this character for essentially the first time, like 2 days ago. So, Venom is an interesting character. He is a 5-star difficulty character in this game. He actually has his traditional charge inputs, which is nice, because a lot of characters don't have charge inputs in this game. His moveset is like relatively similar to the older games as far as I can tell, but I'm not a Venom expert by any stretch of the imagination. Your traditional anti-air, you have this little like sweep attack that will actually hit behind, which has the interesting reaction of being able to actually send it backwards. Let's see, you have 6H, which is like, I think it's like traditional 6H. But he has a couple interesting things about him too. Like, so there's ball set, which is, you know, for a circle. You can basically press different buttons to set them in different places and then just launch them all like that. But they also have like, if you do like a specific input, which is this, I don't know what the notation of that would be, but you can just drop a bunch at once, which I think that's new. We'll double check Death Sleep in a bit. You have Q5 still, but is this input now? I think that's a different input than in the old game, but we'll again double check. You can hold it to have slightly different properties. And you can also just keep comboing with the pull balls. Stingray, again, is still charge input. Last night I was actually getting pretty okay at charge inputs, which is like a first for me. Like, I wanted to play May back in the day. I like how you say I'm getting better at charge inputs, and now I'm like completely botching this. So there's that. Carcass Raid, which is still another charge input, which is like down then up. This is very traditional. Let's see, there's the mid-air version, which works as you'd expect. There's this move, which I think is sort of new, Chaimbaka. I say sort of new because I think this is his old grab from like Xrd, but it's basically a command grab now. For reasons we'll be seeing momentarily, but it is now the popular meme because every character has a unique ball, which is one of the favorite things about about Venom, is how each character has a different ball. Though I do wish they were actually colored like in Xrd instead of just all gold. So that is a slight bummer, but not a big deal. And then you have like, you know, quarter circle forward, or half semicircle back, or semicircle forward, which is, I think this is like his traditional super also. I'm not gonna do it near the wall. Like, this is still his traditional like super, but you now have a finisher with Robo-Ky to deal extra damage. That really doesn't do very much. Like, oh my god. Like, this is not very effective, I feel, but you can keep comboing it as it goes off. It's like testaments in that regard, so that's what you're expected to do. You're expected to keep, you know, attacking. And then there's Navaratna Run Out, which is like this. I kind of miss his old IK, I'm not gonna lie, with like the pull ball finisher. But like, god, this animation though, like, I don't know, something about it. Let's see. Like, all of his normals feel relatively unchanged, which is different than Dizzy, who has very different normals compared to Xrd, for better or worse. I like her normals in this game, but I do kind of miss, like, you know, the kick she had since X, and so on. But yeah, Venom feels very traditional. So really quickly, I just want to, like, quickly skim through this. This is the Xrd Rev 2 page for Venom. Deathloop is a great resource, by the way. It basically covers all Arxis games. And it's like a really good resource for like information on these, like, you know, frame data and all this. So if you want to get good at Guilty Gear, I highly recommend Deathloop. There's also individual servers, like Discord servers for every character, like for Strive. Like, I was in the Dizzy server for a bit, but ended up stepping away just because I kind of stopped playing for a bit. But like, you know, going through his moves, they feel relatively unchanged. Like, his normals are relatively comparable to how they were in the other game. The other move worth mentioning is Dust, actually, but we'll get to that in a moment. You know, 6P, 6H. You know, he still has like the 2D that I really like, that's actually 2-hit. But everything is like here for the most part, as far as I can remember off the top of my head for normals. Obviously Gatlings work differently, so things don't train the same way. He does have a new 2D though. But yeah, the old ground throw was putting them in a ball, which you can use for a combo. But now that's a command grab. So going into specials here, he's no longer able to teleport, which is kind of a bummer. Q5 used to be 4123-6P, or K, or any button really. 4123, so that's like a quarter circle, or like a half circle, if my envisioning is correct. That's now a DP. Which is a weird change in my opinion. But like, you know, Carcass Raid is still the same. This one's gone too, Double Head Morbid. This is his old, like, DP. And I kind of missed this move, not gonna lie. The other interesting move that's gone is this one, J236S, or H, Mad Struggle, which is like a diagonal dive move. And there's all the different formations for summoning. Yeah, Dark Angel still here, but now you have Robo-Ky helping. Red Hail is like a mid-air super, and Bishop Runout is kind of comparable to what we still have. But yeah, the IK is very iconic for the ball system. But all that to say, kind of like Dizzy, because like with Dizzy she has like the bubble, and then they got rid of that. But like with Dizzy, her bubble move was like JD, and that's the same for like Venom. Like, this is just JD now. Hi, welcome on in. I'm just like really quickly showing off Venom because I'm normal about Guilty Gear. So yeah, in general I think Venom is pretty close to in the older games. Not exact, obviously. Definitely fits Strive's mechanics still, but again, missing the old Dragon Punch is definitely something I do miss that. Partly just I like the spinniness of it, not gonna lie. But yeah, the charge motion, or the charge input's still here, which is nice. Yeah, core mechanics are relatively comparable, but again, I'm not a Venom player, so I would not be able to give you, like, the most, like, you know, thorough take on this character. The other big difference is because of his command grab being, like, his old grab, essentially. Can that be used in midair? I don't think so. Actually, no, they say if it is. Yeah, it doesn't say it can be used in the air, so that is a bit of a nerf, I guess, from Xrd, because, you know, being able to turn them into a ball in an air grab would be helpful. But basically, the reason he has this command grab now is because his actual grab has been changed to incorporate Robo-Ky. He just kind of shows up and beats the shit out of you. It's kind of cool, like, because he still traps you in a ball like that, but having Robo-Ky is nice. And also, I have no clue what the text says, but it's a very nice touch. I saw a joke about how it's like Venom is so cool that you need Robo-Ky to like balance out the coolness, because otherwise he'd be too powerful, and I kind of agree. Xrd, well, and like traditionally in the series, he's part of the Assassin's Guild with Milia and Zato 1, and I think Slayer ends up in charge of it at some point, if I'm not mistaken. But the interesting thing about Venom is he kind of likes Zato, if I recall correctly. Quite notably, Elfhel is like in her win quote, and Xrd is very surprised that Venom is not interested in women, basically, which is very interesting. But basically, because of that, there's a bit of a rivalry with Milia throughout the entire series. Like, a lot of endings in the older X games involve, like, conflicts with Milia. At some point, Zato dies, Eddie takes over, which basically means, like, at some point they resurrect him in Xrd. I forget how exactly, I think it has to do with the Conclave. But basically, at some point, Venom ends up fighting Bedman with Robo-Ky. Robo-Ky, like, loses his body, and then Venom basically is given an offer to retire from being an assassin and become a baker. So that's what he does. So he and Robo-Ky have a bakery in the kingdom. They can both be seen in the ending of Strive, with Milia and Zato visiting them. But in the current lore, in his bio, Venom is basically like a vigilante helping around the town because there's like all sorts of crimes taking place. And so Venom is basically like a baker by day and like the Phantom by night. I saw some criticism of like maybe they could have renamed him for this, like if they just called him the Phantom, like that would have been cool, and I kind of agree. Also, Robo-Ky sort of can do that now, so it's like he sort of has like a body back in a way, sort of an arbitrary way. I didn't mean to hide menu. Yeah, Venom's fun. Like, having literally just tried him in Xrd recently, he is a fun character. He is not for me, though. There's too much, like brain power. This takes too much brain power for me to handle, I think. But he is very fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what people can do with him. And yeah, that's a very fast overview of Venom. Whether I can actually survive an arcade mode run, we will find out, I guess. But the story is very interesting. His rubber hose limbs. Yeah, it's very interesting how they've, like, just incorporated him into the moveset. I was always hoping they would. Again, I always joked I wish they would just give him a Baker moveset. Like, have him, like, use, like, dinner rolls instead of pull balls or something. But, like, this is fine. But he's a zoner. I'm just seeing who else counts as that. Yeah, Axel's a zoner. Johnny, interesting. Johnny's a zoner. I'm a little bit surprised with how many Johnnies I fought and ranked. Oh, that's the other big thing. They're actually doing some major changes to the game coming up in summer. In May, they're adding in frame data. So this is a thing that like Street Fighter 6, I think, started doing, like in the mainstream. But where you can actually see the frame data of moves. It's like, why the hell wasn't that here before? Modders have put it in, at least. So that's nice. But also in summer, they're going to add a separate ranked matchmaking system. So previously you just had the tower, which is a whole thing. Basically, the problem with the tower is you can kind of like skimp out on fights, because if you see someone like really high level, you can just not fight them. But like with an actual ranked, like skill-based matchmaking system, it means you will actually get matched up with people of your skill level, instead of just hoping that people aren't smurfing. Well, that's gonna still happen, but like oh, this is someone from Celestial who just dropped down to floor 8 because they're on a losing streak, and you're going to get obliterated. So actually having it based on skill rather than arbitrary like floor assignment, I think is ultimately better. I just think it's a little too late to really move the needle on this game, unfortunately. But it's nice that it's there finally. This rank system is actually in Team of 3 already, and everyone was like, why the hell is this here, not in the actual main mode? So they are finally doing something with that. Whether the tower will still be there, I don't know. So yeah, those are the major updates. This update didn't actually buff or nerf anybody. It fixed like the weird slightly glitches with like Dizzy's ice field, which I'm a little bit bummed out about actually. But in general, this was more of a content patch than a bug fix patch than a like balancing patch. So I'm still waiting for Dizzy to get any kind of buff because she is not in the best shape right now. I'm gonna be honest. The game also feels really quiet right now, so I'm gonna go in and bump this up a little bit since we will have. About there, maybe. Like, I swear Windows recently broke all my audio settings. Everything is like not where it should be. So Leo is like the main opponent in the start of Venom's. I almost like Ky for some reason. I think it's because of Robo-Ky. Start of Venom's story mode. I have not done an extreme mode run. I will not because I'm not good with Venom. Like, I can pull it off with Dizzy because I like Dizzy and play her enough in older games. I can pick her up relatively quickly, as I continue to fumble the controls. But in general, like, Venom is a character I have no clue how to play optimally, and I don't know if I'd take the time to learn. But like, he's so cool. Like, Venom's a character that, even though I definitely cannot play as him well at all, I love him being in the game because he's got so much style, and like, Guilty Gear to me is a game largely built around style, so genuinely I think one of the most like fancy characters. And, you know, high level Venom play is like scary. Yeah, there's also this move. What's this combo into actually? 6k? Okay, that does combo, okay. Yeah, you're not gonna get optimal gameplay from me today. Just as a heads up, if you're expecting me to actually be very show-offy, don't. So yeah, again, the way Guilty Gear arcade mode works is you have 3 different routes that have slightly different versions of the story, but that ultimately kind of give off the same basic core. So you can kind of glean different parts of the character's story from the different routes. If you lose a round in stage 1, you go to normal. If you win both, you go to extreme, and if you lose a round from here on out, you drop to hard. If you get to stage 8, and win, you get a stage 9 that's really hard against whoever that boss character is. In this case, we'll see who that character is. How does he know, actually? Like, how did he get the memo on this? I guess it's just like a known thing that Bridget's come out. like, I mean, go Robo-Ky for respecting pronouns, but that like is weird to me somehow. Oh yeah, I need to do like this. Like, but actually effectively. Yeah, but how do you combo that? Ow. Ouchie. Hey, I don't know how to fight Bridget. To be honest, I've played Bridget, but I don't know how to fight her. Ow. It's fine if we drop to hard mode, I'm not expecting to do extreme. Ow. People joked about that with Johnny too, it's like... respects pronouns, but also still kind of a chaser. I mean, the matchup of not understanding, yeah, that's me with mirrors. I cannot do mirrors. I did Carcass Raid like by total accident, I'm pretty sure. Problem is, Dizzy can't win like most matchups at the moment because she's not good, to be honest. Like, me making it to Celestial with Dizzy, I think is a testament to just me being completely not normal for this character, more than anything. Cause yeah, she's not great. Like, a lot of the higher level players have completely dropped Dizzy, cause it's like, she's not entirely viable at, like, competitive level. He's such a little goober. Affectionate. Like, yeah, Venom has too much Riz, so he needs Robo-Ky to, like, balance it out. But yeah, the overall feeling I have with Venom is, again, I can't wait to see high-level play of this character, but that is not going to be from me. Ow. Case in point, I'm losing to opponent number 2. I need to do that more. Yeah, that's how you do damage as Venom, is you have to combo the bull balls. This character's too cool, sending the goofy ass, yeah. But also I just love the acknowledgement of like Robo-Ky and Venom kind of being a thing. Not like a thing, I don't think it's ever like confirmed like really seriously, but like kind of a bromance in a way, but that Venom is actually, you know, gay. I'm just being an asshole here. That worked somehow. Oh, they're trying to get money for his body, I guess. Okay, here's something I've noticed. It feels like there's different pull balls, and I wonder if that's like based on anything, like if it's per character, if it's just random. Because I swear he has, I've seen the animation with like a yellow, which I think would be 1, like a 1 ball. I don't think he has anything special to say the chip. This intro like kicks ass, by the way. It was so funny watching reactions yesterday though, because like, again, I had the hope for ages, like, I hope Robo-Ky is part of his moveset. Like, if Robo-Ky isn't going to be playable, at least have him with Venom to have him here. But I legitimately thought it was so funny how many people were like, oh my god, Robo-Ky jump scare. Yeah, I can't really play set play characters very well. I don't even think that's the right word for it. But like, you know, characters that like need to set up a lot of stuff to get stuff moving. Testament's another really good example of that. I mean, Jacko too. Ow, you actually landed Alpha Blade, huh? Ow. Not Alpha Blade, yeah, the weird thing with Dizzy is I feel like she just needs better normals, because they're kind of stubby. Like, it's very easy to get clipped by something that doesn't feel like it should clip. Which is just kind of a shame, because I love Dizzy, obviously. It's not like I've made my entire personality for the last year about Dizzy at this point. The most excited you've been for Strive in a long time. That's good to hear. I'm glad. See, this is my thing. This is why I'm doing this, literally, right now. Is like, you know, now that I'm doing this streaming thing, I want to show off as many characters as possible, because the funny thing about fighting games is, like, even if I have no clue what I'm doing in this fight, one, Strive is just a cool looking game, let's be real, but also, like, every character is someone's favorite character. Like, this is something I legitimately love about fighting games, is that aspect of it. Like, legit. That's, like, one of the coolest things. It's like, there's gonna be someone who just, like, tears everyone up with, like, Duck Hunt in Smash Bros. And it's, like, the coolest thing. And, like, people will just, like, grow attached to the characters they're attached to, and it's, like, great to see. And so when you have a character that finally makes it into the game, and I mean, there's still the hope of, like, okay, maybe actual Robo-Ky can make it in, because there's the Mark II and more. Yeah, that's a 9-ball. But, like, hypothetically, there could be a second Robo-Ky in the game in some capacity. Whether he'd be as much of a boy failure as the main Robo-Ky, I guess, would remain to be seen. But yeah, there are ways to have Robo-Ky as a playable character again. But even still, just having him in the game was kind of like, oh my god, Robo-Ky's here, Venom's here. Like, there was so much excitement for that.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
And, like, this is how I feel about, like, Smash Bros. And why I think Smash Bros. Discourse is the stupidest thing sometimes, if I'm being totally honest. Because I got my character, and I was super excited. I was really happy. So, like, let other people have that, basically, is why I don't like Smash Discourse. It's so stupid. It's like, oh my god, Sora's so dumb. Why would they waste a slot on Sora? It's like, people have been wanting Sora in this game for god knows how long. Let them have it. Like, Sora's just the one that springs to mind, but, like, Steve Minecraft is another one that a lot of people are angry about. It's just like, yeah, let him have it. Again, I got Pyre and Mytha. I was set. So, like, I wasn't gonna, like, you know... God, I keep forgetting this move. Like, this is legitimately, like, a pet peeve I have with fighting games. Is, like, and just games in general, is the need to, like, yuck someone's yum, basically. This is a fascinating conversation to be having while Robo-Ky is doing an uppercut in slow motion. Yeah, like, Dizzy was that character for me, where it's like, you know, Dizzy being in the game at all was like, yeah. And that if it hadn't leaked the night before, because Arxis put up the unlisted trailer, like the day before, I was like, I would have popped off. Not, like, literally, because I wasn't at EVO, but, like, I would have been pumped if I could have just, you know, seen that live. Like, oh my god, Dizzy's in the game. And, you know, the experience of, like, oh my god, everyone's just pinging me because Dizzy's in the game. Finally. But, like, that's kind of my stance. It's like, literally, if Jam gets in, I'll be happy, because I used to play Jam, for one thing. But, like, I also know people who want to play Jam. And so, even if I don't play Jam anymore, because I'm relatively happy with Dizzy, minus she needs a couple buffs, I want people to have the character. Who's the other one I was thinking of? Like Zappa, for example. It's like, I feel like the Venn diagram, like the, not Venn diagram, what am I looking for? The amount of excitement for a character like Zappa is gonna be kinda, like, more subdued, I think. Just because Zappa is a little bit more obscure at this point. but it's like someone out in the world of Guilty Gear is gonna like have the biggest pop off seeing Zappa come back, and like that's a good for them. Like I'm happy that they can have that moment. Or, like Raven or Answer or like Cliff Anderson and just everybody. It's like maybe not Justice, because people would just be like, oh my god, Justice is back and it's gonna be top tier again probably. Joking aside. Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. Like, yeah, what you're saying about like, yeah, this is the most excited I've been for this game. That's how I was with Smash. Like, I kind of fell out of Smash. I don't think I'd even finished World of Light at that point, because I kind of just lost interest. But then Pyro and Mythic got added, and I was like back into Smash again. That was like basically what happened with Dizzy is what happened with Smash when Pyro and Mythic got added, where I just like obsessed about the game for like a couple months. And like I legitimately just like started playing Smash a bunch again. And I had a great time, as much as you can with Smash's netcode. But that's like legitimately the joy of fighting games and just games in general, is like, you know, falling in love with a character, whether it's like, you know, on a gameplay level or like, you know, emotional level. Like obviously I have Dizzy, for example, but in Pyro and Mytha, you can't beat someone if they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it's like Zappa's a really cool character. It'd be interesting to see a version of Zappa with more like synergy with Esco, potentially, because I think that is a thing in the lore, where he's not like as like possessed, basically. So yeah, trying to come up with like a way to incorporate Zappa with a very different vibe would be really cool, and I would welcome that. That's why I was really happy that Testament is back, and just kind of, you know, very different energy than like the very like angry trying to get revenge on humanity from like first game, and then the very like regretful from like X onwards. It's like very fascinating when they bring back characters and do something really different. Like a character I really want to see is Kim Hae-yoon, but like without the like the old man mech armor, but just have her like as presenting female, but still being the leader of that village, but also still knowing all these martial arts, like just organically, kind of. Like I want something like that, like a very different version that's like still kind of plays the same, but like lore-wise is very different. Wow, I did not expect to go on such a rant about that. Not a rant, but like, a soapbox about that. I need to take a drink.
Mankind knew that they cannot change
Alright,
society.
can I fight myself?
On themselves, they blamed the beasts.
But like, this is how I feel about a lot of games. Again, this is why, like, with Smash Bros, I just kind of smile and nod if it's a character I'm not really into. I'm just kind of like, yeah, cool, Minecraft Steve, that's funny. Twitter died. But, again, Pyro and Myth was the character I was like most like, oh my god, this is really happening. The funny part is when I first saw that trailer, I'm like, are they doing DLC? Like, what is happening? And it's like, oh, they're just in Smash, which is like still hype, but it wasn't like, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't as hype as if there was just Xenoblade 2 DLC. Truth be told. And like, you know, if Noah and Mia make it in, I'll be very happy. I'm never getting Nia. I'm content with that because Nia's not the main character, so I'm fine with that never happening. But just to get some love for Xenoblade in at all, to me matters. And see, that's another thing. Like, you know, Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite. You know, if I could pick any Final Fantasy character, it'd be Vivi. Actually, I think Vivi would be a really fun character in Smash. However, Cloud makes sense, Sephiroth makes sense, so just having any rep for this series is nice. Ow, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Ow. Nope, that didn't kill. Hey, remember what I was saying about I don't know how to play against characters that I actually play myself? Yeah, about that. Yeah, I don't know how much that even made sense. You want more mage characters in fighting games? Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Again, I would love VV in anything. I'm gonna be honest, because let's be real, Square Enix forgets FF9 exists sometimes. But I love FF9. It's one of my favorite games of all time, I think. Which is funny, because I think most people associate me with FF10, because Yuna. But I actually really like FF9. I think I might like it a hair more, even though I have a lot of sentimental attachment to 10, which is like the funny irony of it. I don't JD as Venom, but I'm constantly pressing JD as Dizzy. It's like, I don't understand my brain sometimes. Ow. So yeah, we'll probably be back to Strive eventually anyway. I don't know if I'll cover Lucy, to be honest, just because I'm not really into Cyberpunk. But I at least want to check out Unica sometime in the future. And if Season 5 has anyone really good, we'll obviously be back for that. Yeah, I just love talking about fighting games, to be honest. I like getting to show them off and like kind of just nerd out about certain characters, nerd out about the series, the lore, and everything. And like there are different ways to enjoy a fighting game. Like I love Guilty Gear, not entirely for the gameplay, if I'm being honest, just because it is so focused on the competitive side. But just the lore of Guilty Gear goes so deep that like there's a lot to love, even if you're not like someone actually playing a fighting game. You can still get so much out of the story. Like Smash Bros. Like, you don't need to be a pro to be like, oh my god, my Skrunklies are, like, can fight each other, or fight alongside each other. Like, sometimes that's, like, the simple choice in life. Like, you don't need, like, the best game ever, as long as it's just, like, scratching that, like, sentimental, like, itch, if that makes sense. Ow. Hey, remember how I say said before I don't know how to fight Temkin? I still don't know how to fight Temkin, gonna be honest. They gave him armor on a bunch of attacks, so I definitely don't know what to do. And especially as Venom, because what does he have that's multi-hit, actually? Like JD is multi-hit. Then yeah, no, that actually works. I'm also like gonna be totally blunt. I have no clue where the hell Venom will rank. I legit think he's pretty good, but I also thought Dizzy was gonna be kind of alright, and then she ended up being like bottom tier. So do not ask me to accurately predict things about this game, because I would probably be wrong. Cause like yeah, Dizzy, I already could tell that Dizzy was not gonna be top tier like right away. Everyone was like, oh my god, Wings of Light is broken, she's going to be top tier, and then like, she's not. And in fact, she's actually pretty difficult to use. So yeah. In general, oh god, I need to do that move more. Ow, ow, ouch. That was not the input I meant to do, I meant to press X. Not, because I wanted to do this. That's not the input. Why isn't this working? There we go. Yeah, like this is one of the coolest things about Venom, is just being able to like combo that like that. I'm glad that like his kit is like relatively intact as far as I can tell. Okay, this might kill actually. Yeah, this is gonna kill, I think. Nope, barely alive. I should not have won that. I'm also playing on hard mode instead of extreme, so that also makes a difference. So, yeah, his last opponent is actually Ramlethal, which surprises me, but like, a lot of people were thinking Bedman because of the story. A lot of people were thinking, like, I was thinking Milia right off the bat, but it's interesting. Like, these arcade runs have really been pairing characters together that are, like, very disparate. Like, not the traditional, like, rivalries and, like, team-ups, they're like very much not characters you'd instinctively expect. Like, have Ramlethal and Venom ever had any interaction before this point? I don't know if they have.
Venom versus Ramlethal.
やはり君にもこの男が似合うか。
この町の人だから聞き込みしたいだけ。
そうか。容赦だ。
この間、とある犯罪組織がこの町で摘発されたんだ。私たちに言っていたんだけど、何か知らない。噂でも聞いた。
特に心はない。
そうなの。
悪いが関係を疑わせてくれ。貴様の戦いを。ではお送りしましょう。
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ow. But yeah, it's like, you know, in Dizzy's round, for example, her final boss was Abba, and it's like, other than that part of Accent we don't talk about, yeah, Abba and Dizzy don't really ever interact at all in lore. So it's like, it's really nice actually, in my opinion, getting like character interactions of characters that we don't really get to see talk much. It's making me wonder who they're gonna give Unica actually. Like, will they just have her fight like Dizzy or Sin or someone like obvious, or will it just be some random ass character like, you know, Johnny, and just to like give Unica more of a backstory? I also wonder what her deal is, because it's like she can't just be a pure villain. Like, that'd be too easy, it's Guilty Gear. So I assume there's some, like, trick to it where it's like, oh, well, you know, she's trying to kill gears, but ends up being, like, a gear also. Based on the little bits of blue in her hair and also, like, having red eyes, there have been theories of her being, like, a half gear like Dizzy, essentially. So yeah, I think that would make sense. Again, it's also interesting kind of pitching Sin as the lead, versus, like, focusing more on, like, Kai and Soul. So it feels like a Street Fighter slash Garo. It's like, you know, Sin is the Rock Howard of Guilty Gear, which I think makes sense. How much Wild Assault does Venom actually have? I cannot tell with everything else going on. Yeah, I'm just pressing buttons. I'm not, like, trying to do anything optimally here. I thought I pressed circle. At some point, I am almost tempted to do, like, a joke tier list of, like, Venom's, like, pull balls. Like, who has the best pull ball, basically. Like, it just occurred to me I could do something like that, and that could be funny, but probably not today. We're approaching 3 hours.
あそこになかった。なのに、あなたが彼らと戦ったような気がする。なんでだろう。
先ほども言ったが、覚えはない。ただ、このところ、無許可の露天商や不用品の放置なども増えていた。見知らぬ者たちによるものだったな。皆が困っていたから、私が彼らへ話をつけていたが、もしや。なるほどな。貴様が犯罪組織を末端から弱らせていたのかもしれんな。露天商は違法な取引の窓口。不用品はそのうち爆発物にでも変わっていただろう。それらを回せなくなったことで、奴らの計画は立ち行かなくなり、窮していたところでとうとうお縄となった。推測だが。お手柄じゃねえか。本当に関連していたかは不明だ。摘発されたとはいえ、今後も警戒の必要はある。そうでしょう。ああ、まああとは専門家の領分だ。貴様はパン焼きに励んでいい。町の一人一人の目と意志が悪を封じた。私は梅雨払いをする程度で十分でしょうね。
頑張り屋さんだ。睡眠時間はとってね。
So yeah, it's a case of like a lot of characters in this game feel like they're just kind of getting on with their lives, essentially. Again, very much like a, you know, resolving all the character arcs so they can do something different next time. The big question that keeps coming up for me is, when will we get another Guilty Gear? Like, this is genuinely a question I think about. And one I don't necessarily have an answer to. I always forget that Nicole Tompkins is Jacko in this game. She's Jill in the Resident Evil remake. Resident Evil 3 remake, specifically. Like, that always just kind of catches me off guard, ever so slightly. It's like Anna Brisbane. It's like, like, oh wow, right, she is, Abba. It's like a lot of these names, like, you know, Alejandra Saab is, Robo-Ky apparently, and it's just like, wow, all the people I used to like see on YouTube, are, like in Guilty Gear, and obviously like, you know, Axel. Yeah, it's like, is Arxis gonna do another Guilty Gear after this? Because it's like, it's a moneymaker. It feels like they should do another one, but the story is also kind of reaching a conclusive point. So we'll have to see, like, in literally a week and a half, well, not a week and a half because there'll be several episodes. But in general, we'll have to wait until Dual Rollers to kind of get a better feel for, like, the future of the series. It's like, I love Guilty Gear, I hope it keeps going. I think this is a case of there is still enough passion in the development side that Guilty Gear will not be going anywhere anytime soon. Now, the main issue with like Blaze Blue or also like Soul Calibur is mostly just not having anyone who wants to take up that mantle. So yeah, in general, I think we'll get more Guilty Gear. I have the wild prediction, actually, that next Evo, which, oh my god, that's only 3 months away, or like 4 months away. But like next Evo, we could see at least a tease at a new Arxis game. Whether that'd be like a funded game, like, you know, DBC F2 or whatever, or like they're doing the Hunter game, for example. But if it's something like that, or if it's more like a new Guilty Gear, I have no clue. But I think we'll get something from Arxis, fighting game related, before too long. And also, well, I mean, just Grand Blue fairly recently, so I guess it hasn't been that long. Yeah, like, I have this weird feeling of, like, we could get a Guilty Gear teaser for, like, the next game before too long. Just to keep momentum rolling from this game, because this is the most successful Guilty Gear. My other prediction is, DLC is gonna be horrible for me in the next game, just because I stand by my opinion. Bridget will never be base roster ever again. They can make too much money by having her be DLC. Same with Dizzy, same with Biken, same with Venom to some extent. It's like there are certain characters that are so popular that just relegating them to DLC makes more sense financially, and that bothers me because it's a lot of the characters I like to play. But legitimately, this is a game that's very special to me. Again, this isn't part of like my favorites retrospective series. At some point I'll probably play some Guilty Gear for that anyway. But this is a game that means a lot to me. This is a series that means a lot to me. And I always enjoy having an opportunity to jump back in and talk about it a little bit on stream, even though I'm probably repeating a lot of my points I already went through during the Dizzy retrospective. But in general, yeah, Venom's really fun. Not for me in terms of like a main, but definitely a very fun character. And again, I'm very glad Robo-Ky is here in some capacity, because that was always my like big wish list for Venom, was to have Robo-Ky as part of his moveset if he wasn't going to be a standalone character. There's also, I've also seen speculation that if there's a Guilty Gear after this, then Robo-Ky could be playable, just from the standpoint of he might have a body by then. And also that a lot of characters could get really big redesigns if they're like in a different place in their lives. Like Soul could have a very different design. I think Soul will be more like background, like secondary character though.